for eons, I didn't want anything to do with EVs.
Yeah.
I was a diehard petrol head. I thought EVs were garbage, had no soul. And then I reluctantly built my first one because the OEMs, all my partners were going that way. And then back here, I drove my first one. It's the pink and gray one.
Yeah.
It's on display at Brixton, so I'm sorry I don't have it here. But I drove it half the power here, and I lost my mind. Like, what? And overnight, I was sold.
So we are here today at a very, very special location. This is Bisimoto's shop here in California. I have been following his stuff for a very, very long time.
Good morning.
How's it going, Ellis? Yeah.
I'll show you around. For many years, of course, I've been doing a ton of petrol stuff, yeah? And then since 2018, I kind of dwelled into the EV space. So that used to be my proper racetrack car, center seat, twin turbo. Now I'm building one that's EV as well. And I have a few petrol builds from clients and my own as well. EV930, EV930, EV72 petrol 935 Tribute, EV Rolls Royce. This is the one that in a couple weeks I'll have you ready, and when you come back again,
that's the
see
one.
How it looks like rubbish right now, huh? But when it's done, it's going to be absolutely spectacular.
Amazing. My first sort of exposure to the stuff that he was building was Top Gear. Rutledge drove a 1,000 horsepower Honda Odyssey that he built, and there actually is, that exact episode is one that I remember super vividly.
If you may recall, I have this crazy 1,000 horsepower minivan that's at the house.
Yeah.
That's my most popular vehicle ever.
Yeah.
That is going to be kind of the second version of that. So it's a 2025, the team and I, and they'll be working on it today as well. And I have more stuff at home, but this is what we have at the facility.
No, the
today.
minivan was what I must have been 10 or 12 years old.
Oh my God.
On watching Top Gear USA. Yeah. Watching Top Gear USA, we watched, that was the, whatever family car episode they did.
Yeah.
Hunting for a Honda Fit, so.
Interesting,
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I like in 2015, we did a GA5. I don't know which generation you're looking at.
Similar.
Okay,
yeah.
sounds good. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Those are fun. I did a track one and a full-blown drag one.
Yeah.
It was a nice,
they're fun.
nice pair of builds.
Down in Texas, all the EGs and EKs are so expensive that it's one of those they're all kind of the same platform. It's front-wheel drive, short wheelbase, fun car.
Understood.
So, boost it till it blows up and then put something nicer in it. All the electric stuff I drove one of the Sierra cars, and it was, I'd only driven stuff that maximum horsepower I drove was a 500 horsepower electric race car.
Right.
And it feels like double.
Exactly, it
the
does.
response as well,
of course.
There's no power curve. It's just
You're
there.
preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I jumped into professional motorsport, and jumping into electric motorsport, once he started doing crazy stuff like this, it was, a no-brainer to just follow along. And I really think he's making electric cool. It's definitely something that's been lacking, and especially outside of the competitive motorsport side. And there's still no denying, whether it's combustion or electric, that a car like this or some of the other beautiful Porsches behind us is that they're cool. And I think he really takes a very analog approach to the whole driver experience, and that's something I've been a huge advocate for. Getting those giant tablets off of the dash and putting some gauges in there, just like it's meant to be.
The first time I went to a facility out in Southern California, more towards San Diego, to a shop that all they do is conversions. This is when I was kind of researching and trying to figure out what I want to do. And that was my biggest qualm too, was they all have this kind of Tesla style screen, and it feels weird. Yeah. Okay. But with ours, and to turn it on, the guy had to get in, put the key in, go on the screen, set up the little levels, go forward, stop, go backwards. Yeah. I'm like, with this, when you drive, you see how simple it's something enthusiastic and I would like to do. You put the key in, turn it on, it's on.
And the whole point with these is being able to use electric powertrains to make it streetable, but also have the performance without, because even supercars, they're quick, but you still, they're comfortable, they're luxury cars, you still lose some of that comfort.
And this is as analog as you can get. Yeah. But still taking advantage of some of the modern mobility.
Exactly.
Yeah. The tach works like normal. The only thing that gives us away is wait a minute, is that an 18,500 red line? And that's all. So to untrained eye, they're like, oh my God, this is a nice bathtub. But as you look under here on the bonnet, look, so there's no air-cooled power plant.
Yeah.
There's no flat fan. There's nothing of that nature. No carburetors. It's all electronics and wiring. But inside, when you sit inside, even the shifter is used to initiate gear.
Yeah.
So it's
authentic.
Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah. It captures the essence of the classic Porsche without ruining it, but giving you all the advantages of an electric drivetrain.
You know, we always talk about in even new performance cars, like in the 90s, like the driver-focused cockpit. Like there's one, like the Supra, where literally everything is pointed to you, and the driver gets like, the passenger has like one air vent, and that's it, you know?
Understood.
So I think that vibe as well is like, you know, proper, authentic, you know, cockpit is most important, because the aesthetics on the outside are important,
of course,
but also how you feel driving the car.
Amen.
Like watching the tack come up. You know, I'm getting into motorcycles, and I'm like, I want an old sport bike because I want to watch that tack go up to 16 grand. You know, so
it takes a little bit more effort and panache to be able to design CAN-based analog gauges and have it give out the data that you want to be able to get as a driver.
Exactly.
So, but that it still connects you differently. So that's what I like about that. And don't get me wrong, my first one had a screen. Yeah. But it was like the same one as that, but it's just it wasn't a touch screen. It was interactive.
Yeah.
Everything was still analogish to engage.
Yeah.
Key on, sequential shifter to initiate the gear. But that was like more my data center. And this is my first one. I was able to learn for that. And as I matured in this market, I felt, you know what, let me give the clients and myself a little bit more of that analog feel.
Yeah. I think conversions are really unique because you're sort of giving a second life to a platform, right? Suspension geometry from the 70s and 80s is probably a little rougher than what we're used to. A lot of the older engines can be quite temperamental. So when you take what he does here, which is keeping the spirit of that vintage style, but bringing in an electric powertrain that makes good power and is super reliable and super easy to work on, I think that is the definition of what car culture is, and that's doing something unique, you know, giving things a second life, and it's really important.
And I've said this to my fans on my show, but a lot of people still don't get it. There's a weird connection.
Yeah.
It's almost like the petrol engine does a smashing job in dampening your feedback.
Yeah.
With the EV, as you drive any of my performance EVs, it's like you're more connected to the road with the tarmac, the brakes, the feedback on the tires are a lot more amplified. It's just, and it's hard to be able to convey that message through any kind of means. People have to experience it themselves to say, this is great.
I tell people, I drive on the sim a lot, like iRacing, right?
Understood.
And the number one thing people do in iRacing is they turn up the volume of the tires so they know when they're locking up.
Understood.
And I said, well, that's exactly what it's like to drive an EV, is all of a sudden you hear everything, whether it's the car behind you pushing the limit,
of course,
whether it's scrubbing into the corner or the back kicking out, like everything that you say do in the sim, which is turn down the engine and turn up the tires, it's in real life.
There it is, naturally for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So BC is someone who is definitely at the forefront of what I see as inspiring, you know, the next generation to feel that electric is cool, and it's just super special what the work that they're doing here. And I definitely think this is the golden ticket to making our next generation excited about electric motorsport and electric cars in general, and by also educating them about the history behind the sort of predecessors and ancestors of the new, you know, supercars and sports cars on the road. So I would say if I had to pick one car combustion and one car electric out of the showroom, I definitely would love to drive the Moby and go full send. If we're talking just, you know, getting to rip it, that just the way it would look driving fast would be incredible. And it's a Porsche, it's gonna drive like a dream. And if we're talking combustion, there's a very, very nice Integra Type R back there that I would love to rip around. And you know, very, very split on both sides, but you know, front wheel drive, mid horsepower is my jam. It's what I've spent the most time in driving on circuit, so it's got a soft spot in my heart.
So as a wrap on our day here in Cali at Bisimoto's workshop, this has been a bucket list of mine for a very long time, just to even be able to come see in person. So a huge thank you to you for letting me get behind the wheel of the Moby here. This was an incredible experience, not only for, you know, as a lover of Porsche, but also as a lover for electric vehicles as well. So I hope you had some fun, and it was really nice to chat with you as well and get to see some of your cars in the magazine. It's going to be super cool, and hopefully we'll get to see you around some more.
By all means, I'm glad you had a great time, and we have a lot coming out here at the Bisimoto stable. So I look forward to you coming back again, exploring some newer technologies we have coming out, some more powerful vehicles. It should be a lot. But very proud of you. Keep up the great work, and
Appreciate it. See you soon.
Cheers.